The moment Gabriel's hand brushed against mine under the dim lights of our favorite Brooklyn bar, my entire world tilted on its axis. I yanked my fingers away like I'd been burned, heart slamming against my ribs. But the look in his eye said everything words never could. "Dorian, I can't keep pretending this is just friendship," he murmured, voice low enough that only I could hear it over the clink of glasses and laughter from our group. We had known each other for 2 years, ever since I joined the law firm in Manhattan, and he was the senior associate who showed me the ropes. Gabriel was everything I wasn't: openly gay, confident, unapologetic. At 30, he carried himself like a man who had already fought his battles and won. I was 28, still hiding behind a carefully built wall of dates with women that never lasted, weekend brunches with my conservative parents back in Chicago, and the constant pressure to become the son they could brag about at church. My father, a retired Marine, still asked when I was going to settle down with a nice girl and give him grandkids. My mother sent me Bible verses every Sunday. Coming out wasn't an option. It was a death sentence for the life I had scripted. That night at the bar, after Ethan, my best friend since college, had left early with some excuse about work, Gabriel and I stayed behind. The air between us crackled. He leaned closer, his knee pressing against mine under the table. "You've been pulling away for months, but I see you, Dorian. I see the way you look at me when you think no one's watching." His words hit like a freight train. I wanted to deny it, to laugh it off like I always did. But the truth had been building since our first late-night case review, when his laugh made my chest tighten in a way no woman's ever had. I drove home that night in silence, hands shaking on the steering wheel. Ethan's warning from weeks ago echoed in my head. Stay away from Gabriel, man. He's trouble. Guys like him don't understand what it's like to have a family that expects normal. Ethan had said it casually over beers, but his eyes were serious. I had brushed it off then, calling him paranoid. Now, alone in my apartment, I wondered if he was right. What if this was just a phase? What if admitting it destroyed everything? The next morning at the firm, Gabriel acted normal, professional, but his smile lingered a second too long when he handed me the Larson file. I avoided his eyes. By lunch, I texted a girl from my gym, someone safe, someone my parents would approve of. We met for coffee, but all I could think about was Gabriel's hand on mine. That evening, he messaged me. "Dinner? Just us. No pressure." I stared at the screen for 20 minutes before typing back a single word. "Sure." We met at a quiet Italian place in the village. No one from the firm would see us. Gabriel ordered wine, talked about his weekend hike in the Catskills, but his foot nudged mine under the table again. "I know you're scared," he said softly when the waiter left. "I've been there. My family disowned me when I was 21. It hurt like hell, but I survived. You don't have to do this alone." His honesty cracked something inside me. For the first time, I didn't pull away. I told him about my parents, the pressure, the fear that if I came out, I'd lose the only stability I had. He listened without judgment, his green eyes steady. By the time dessert came, my walls were crumbling. We walked along the Hudson after, the city lights reflecting on the water. When he stopped and turned to me, I didn't stop him. His kiss was gentle, questioning, and I kissed him back like a man drowning finally finding air. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Not Ethan, not my family, not the future I had planned. Only Gabriel. But the next day, reality crashed in. My mother called, reminding me about the family reunion in Chicago next month. "Bring a nice girl this time, honey. Your father is asking." I hung up feeling sick. Ethan texted, "Heard you and Gabriel were out late. Careful, dude." Remember what I said. I ignored both messages and met Gabriel again that night. We talked for hours in his apartment, sharing stories, laughing, touching. For the first time in years, I felt seen. Weeks blurred into stolen moments, quiet dinners, late-night walks, weekends at his place where I could finally breathe. Gabriel never pushed. He understood the secrecy, the fear. "When you're ready," he'd say, kissing my temple. I started questioning everything. Was I gay? Bisexual? Did labels even matter when being with him felt like coming home? Work became torture and heaven, seeing him across conference tables, sharing secret glances. Then came the first crack. Ethan cornered me in the office kitchen. "I warned you, Dorian. Gabriel's great at pulling people in, but what happens when your parents find out? Or the partners at the firm? You're playing with fire. His voice was laced with something I couldn't name, jealousy maybe, or genuine worry. I snapped at him, told him to mind his own business. He walked away shaking his head. That night, I didn't tell Gabriel about the conversation. I didn't want to ruin what we had. Our connection deepened. Gabriel took me to his favorite art gallery, where he explained every painting with passion that made my heart swell. We cooked together in his tiny kitchen, dancing to old jazz records. One rainy Saturday, he said, "I think I'm falling in love with you, Dorian." I froze, then pulled him close. Me too. It was the truest thing I'd ever said. But the pressure mounted. My sister called, excited about her engagement, hinting I should bring someone to the wedding. I lied, said I was seeing someone nice. Gabriel overheard and didn't comment, but I saw the hurt in his eyes. That weekend, we argued for the first time. "How long are we going to hide?" he asked. I had no answer. I left angry, driving aimlessly through the city until I ended up at Ethan's place. He poured me a drink. "I told you, man. This isn't sustainable." His words stung because deep down, I knew he might be right. Yet I couldn't let Gabriel go. The next week, we reconciled with a kiss that turned into hours of quiet intimacy, not physical in the forbidden way the prompt forbids, but emotional, raw conversations until dawn. He shared his pain of being kicked out at 21, living on friends' couches. I shared my terror of disappointing my dad. By morning, I promised myself I'd find a way. The firm had a big case, and Gabriel and I worked late every night. The closeness fueled us. Clients praised our teamwork. Partners noticed. Ethan watched from afar, his warnings now silent but heavy. I ignored them all. Gabriel became my anchor. Summer turned to fall, and our secret life felt almost normal. Gabriel surprised me with tickets to a Broadway show, nothing flashy, just two guys enjoying the city. We held hands in the dark theater, and for 3 hours, the world outside didn't exist. Afterward, walking through Times Square, he pulled me into a quiet side street. "I want more than this, Dorian. I want to be able to introduce you to my friends as my boyfriend, not my coworker." His voice was soft, but the plea hit hard. I nodded, promising soon. But soon never came. My parents announced a surprise visit to New York for my birthday. Panic set in. I cleaned my apartment of any trace of Gabriel, hid photos, deleted messages. Gabriel understood, but the distance in his eyes when I told him hurt worse than any argument. "It's okay," he said. "I get it." But it wasn't okay. The visit was torture. My father grilled me about marriage. My mother showed me pictures of her friend's daughter. I smiled through it, taking them to all the tourist spots while texting Gabriel apologies under the table. When they left, I went straight to his place and collapsed into his arms. "I hate lying to them," I whispered. He held me tighter. "Then stop." Ethan's warning came back in a group text about a firm happy hour. "Don't bring Gabriel. Your parents' visit went fine because you kept it normal." I deleted the message. At the happy hour, Gabriel and I stayed professional, but our eyes kept finding each other. Later, alone, we laughed about it until the laughter turned serious. He told me about his ex, how hiding had destroyed them. "I won't do that again, Dorian. Not even for you." The words lingered like a threat. Work intensified with a major merger. Long nights turned into weekends at the office. Gabriel and I stole moments in the copy room. Quick hugs, whispered promises. One Friday, the partners threw a party at a rooftop bar. Ethan pulled me aside. "I'm serious, Dorian. Gabriel's pushing you towards something that will blow up. Think about your career, your family." I told him to back off. He did, but the tension between us grew. Gabriel sensed it. "Your friend doesn't like me much." I downplayed it, blaming work stress. That night, we drove to the beach in his car, windows down, music loud. "Under the stars," he said, "whatever happens, I love you." I said it back, meaning it with every cell. The next morning, I woke up in his bed, the city waking outside. For the first time, I imagined a future without hiding. But fate had other plans. My sister called in tears. Her fiancé had found old emails from a college ex on her laptop, a guy she dated before meeting him. The family was in chaos. My father raged about those people ruining good lives. My mother cried. I comforted her on the phone while Gabriel sat beside me, silent. When I hung up, he asked quietly, "Is that how your family would react to us?" I couldn't answer. The misunderstanding started small. Gabriel had lunch with an old friend, a guy from his past. Someone from the firm saw them and mentioned it casually to Ethan. Ethan texted me. Told you. He's not serious. I confronted Gabriel that evening, voice shaking. Were you with someone else? He stared, hurt flashing across his face. It was just lunch with Mark. You know him from the photos. My college roommate. But doubt had planted its seed. I stormed out, ignoring his calls. Days passed in silence. Work became awkward. Ethan tried to console me. Better now than later, man. I nodded numbly. Gabriel left notes on my desk. Talk to me. I didn't. The rift widened. My family sensed something was off during our weekly call. You sound distant, honey, my mother said. I blamed work. Gabriel finally cornered me in the parking garage. This is what your fear does, Dorian. It turns love into suspicion. His words cut deep. I apologized, but the damage was done. We reconciled, but trust had a crack. Ethan noticed and kept his warnings coming in subtle ways, inviting me to family-style barbecues with straight friends, reminding me of normal life. Fall deepened. The firm retreat in the Hamptons was mandatory. Gabriel and I shared a room secretly, but Ethan was there too. One night by the bonfire, after too many drinks, Ethan pulled me aside. He's going to ruin you. I care about you, man. End it before your parents find out. I pushed him away, but his words festered. Back in the city, Gabriel planned a weekend getaway to Vermont. No hiding, just us. I agreed, excited. We drove up, leaves blazing red. The cabin was perfect, fireplace crackling. We talked for hours about coming out, about telling my family together. For 2 days, it felt possible. On the last night, he said, when we get back, let's do it. Together. I promised. But Monday morning at the office, everything shattered. An anonymous email circulated to the partners, photos of Gabriel and me at the bar months ago, holding hands. No one knew who sent it, but fingers pointed. Ethan denied it when I asked, but his eyes avoided mine. The partners called us in separately. Gabriel was calm. I was terrified. They didn't fire us, but warned about professionalism. The rumor mill exploded. My phone blew up. My sister texted, Dad saw something online. Call home. Panic choked me. Gabriel reached for my hand in the hallway. We faced this together. But I pulled away. I need time. His face fell. That night, I went to Ethan's instead of Gabriel's. I warned you, he said quietly. I stayed on his couch, mind spinning. Gabriel texted, I love you. Don't push me away. I didn't reply. The misunderstanding grew into a wall. He thought I was ashamed. I thought he didn't understand the stakes. The retreat photos had been leaked somehow, and the firm was buzzing. The email leaks spread like wildfire through our professional circle. By Wednesday, even junior associates were whispering. Gabriel walked tall, head high, but I saw the exhaustion in his shoulders. He cornered me in the break room. We can't keep doing this, Dorian. Either we fight for us, or we don't. His voice cracked on the last word. I wanted to say yes, to grab his hand and walk out together, but my father's voice rang in my ears from the frantic call the night before. Son, there are pictures online. People are talking. Tell me it's not true. I had lied through my teeth. Ethan offered his couch again. You need space to think clearly. Gabriel's great, but he's not worth losing your family. I accepted, crashing there for 2 nights while Gabriel's messages piled up. I understand fear, but running isn't love. Each word stung. On the 3rd day, I went home alone. The silence was deafening. My family demanded a visit. I booked a flight to Chicago for the weekend, telling Gabriel it was business. He didn't believe me. At the airport, he showed up unannounced. Don't go without talking to me. We argued in the terminal, voices low but intense. Passers-by stared. I boarded anyway, heart in pieces. Chicago was worse than expected. My father met me at the gate, face stone. Dinner that night was an interrogation. Are you involved with that man from your firm? I denied it, voice shaking. My mother cried softly. My sister looked disappointed. They showed me printed screenshots from some gossip site. This isn't the son we raised, my father said. I left the table, locked myself in my childhood room, and stared at old trophies, wondering who I had become. Gabriel called while I was there. I answered on the 3rd ring. I miss you, he said simply. I broke down, whispering apologies. He forgave me instantly. Come home. We'll figure it out. But home felt like two different places now. Back in New York, the firm partners summoned us both. They offered a transfer for one of us to the LA office to defuse the situation. Gabriel refused. I hesitated. Ethan pulled me aside later. Take it. Fresh start. Leave him behind. The suggestion felt like betrayal, but part of me wondered if it was the easy way out. Gabriel and I met at our spot by the Hudson that night. Rain poured down. If you take the transfer, we're done, he said, not angry, just tired. I chose him in that moment, turning down the offer the next day. The partners weren't happy, but they kept us. Ethan distanced himself, our friendship straining under the weight. Winter arrived with its own chill. Gabriel's birthday fell on a Friday. I planned a surprise dinner at his favorite restaurant. No hiding, just us in a corner booth. He loved it, eyes lighting up when I gave him a simple watch engraved with our initials. For the man who taught me to be brave, I said. We walked home holding hands openly for the first time. It felt liberating and terrifying. But the high didn't last. My mother flew in unannounced the next week. She showed up at my apartment with suitcases and a mission. Your father is worried sick. I need to see for myself. She found a shirt of Gabriel's in my closet. The confrontation was brutal. Tears, accusations, prayers. I called Gabriel in desperation. He came over immediately, calm and respectful. Mrs. Hayes, I love your son. My mother stared, then left without another word, booking the next flight home. The fallout was immediate. My father stopped answering calls. My sister texted that family gatherings were on hold until I fixed this. Gabriel held me while I cried. They need time, he whispered. But time felt like an enemy. Ethan reappeared at work, apologetic. I didn't send the email, but I should have been more supportive. We grabbed beers after work. He admitted his warnings came from his own failed relationship years ago. I projected. I'm sorry. Our friendship mended slightly, but trust was thin. Christmas approached. Gabriel invited me to spend it with his chosen family, a group of friends who had become his support after his own parents disowned him. I accepted, but canceled last minute when my mother called begging me to come home for the holidays. Just for a few days. We miss you. Gabriel was understanding, but hurt. Go. Family first. I went, regretting it the moment the plane landed. Chicago Christmas was tense. Church services felt like judgment. My father barely spoke. On Christmas Eve, he cornered me in the garage. Choose, son. Us or him. I didn't answer. Back in my room, I texted Gabriel. I love you. His reply. Prove it. I flew back early, straight to Gabriel's door at midnight. He opened it, sleepy and surprised. We spent the rest of the night talking, planning how to face the new year together. For the first time, I felt ready to come out publicly. New Year's Eve party at the firm changed everything. Ethan hosted a small gathering at his loft. Gabriel and I arrived together, hand in hand. Whispers followed, but no one confronted us. At midnight, Gabriel kissed me in front of everyone. Applause mixed with awkward silence. Ethan raised his glass. To love, he said, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. The next morning, my phone rang. My father. We saw pictures from the party. You're not welcome home until you end this nonsense. Click. I stared at the screen, world crumbling. Gabriel pulled me close. I'm here. January brought the turning point none of us saw coming. The firm announced layoffs due to the merger fallout. Rumors swirled that Gabriel and I were on the list because of the distraction. Partners called us in separately again. Gabriel was offered a promotion if he transferred to Boston. I was given a warning letter about conduct. The unfairness burned. Gabriel turned down the promotion on the spot. We stay together or not at all. Ethan, now a senior manager, tried to intervene. Take the deals, guys. Don't let this ruin your careers. His advice felt like another warning in disguise. Gabriel and I fought that night. Your friend is always in the middle, he said. I defended Ethan, but doubt crept in. Had Ethan leaked the photos? He swore he hadn't. Valentine's Day was our first real holiday as an open couple. Gabriel booked a cabin upstate. Snow fell softly outside while we cooked pasta and talked about the future. Marry me someday, he said half-jokingly. I laughed, but the idea settled warmly in my chest. We drove back Sunday, optimistic. Monday, disaster struck. An anonymous tip to my family's church group included the New Year's photos. My mother called sobbing. The whole congregation knows. Your father is humiliated. I tried to explain, but she hung up. Gabriel suggested we fly to Chicago together to face them. I refused, terrified of the confrontation. I need to do this alone first. The trip was a mistake. My father met me at the door with suitcases packed. Leave. My mother stood behind him, tears streaming. My sister tried to mediate, but failed. I left broken, driving to a hotel and calling Gabriel. They disowned me. His voice was steady. Come home. My family is yours now. Back in New York, I moved some things into Gabriel's place. The cohabitation felt right, but the loss of my family weighed heavy. Work became unbearable. Partners avoided us. Clients requested different teams. Ethan pulled strings to keep us employed, but the tension was thick. Spring brought hope. A new case landed, high profile, and Gabriel and I were assigned together. Long nights at the office reminded us why we worked so well. One evening, after sealing a deal, he kissed me in the conference room. We're going to be okay. But Ethan had been distant. One afternoon, he asked me to lunch. I need to tell you something. Over salads, he confessed. He had sent the anonymous email months ago, not out of malice, but to protect you. I thought if the firm knew, you'd see it was impossible. Betrayal hit like a punch. I stood up, walked out. Gabriel was furious when I told him. He was never your friend. The rift with Ethan became permanent. He apologized repeatedly, but the damage was done. Gabriel and I leaned on each other harder. We attended Pride events together, small at first, then bolder. I met his friends, felt accepted for the first time. Summer reunion with my sister in neutral territory, a coffee shop in Chicago. She hugged me tight. Dad's stubborn, but Mom cries every night. She showed me texts from my mother asking about me. Hope flickered. Gabriel encouraged me to write a letter. I did, pouring out years of hiding, my love for him, my plea for understanding. No reply came. Weeks passed. Gabriel suggested therapy for me. I went, unpacking the guilt, the fear, the identity I had buried. Sessions helped. I started journaling, small steps towards self-acceptance. Then the big turning point arrived. My father had a heart attack. My sister called at 3 a.m. He asked for you. I flew out immediately, Gabriel driving me to the airport. Call me when you land. At the hospital, my father looked frail in the bed. My mother held his hand. When he saw me, he whispered, "I'm sorry, son." Tears flowed. We talked for hours once he stabilized. Not full acceptance, but a crack in the wall. I don't understand, but I don't want to lose you. I flew back elated. Gabriel met me at the gate with flowers. Told you. We celebrated quietly, planning a small trip to celebrate the breakthrough. But the sacrifice was coming. Gabriel's mother, dying of cancer across the country, called him home to California. He had to go for months. Come with me, he said. I couldn't. The firm needed me, and my father's recovery required check-ins. We promised daily calls, visits when possible. The separation tested us. The months apart stretched like an eternity. Gabriel in California, helping his mother through chemo, sending photos of sunsets and updates. I held down the fort in New York, visiting my parents every other weekend. My father improved slowly, asking tentative questions about Gabriel. He's good to you? Progress, small but real. Ethan tried reconciliation once, showing up at my door with beer. I was wrong. I betrayed you. I let him in, but the friendship never fully healed. We talked work, avoided the past. Gabriel understood, but stayed wary. Mid-separation, a misunderstanding exploded. Gabriel's old college friend Mark visited him in California. Photos surfaced on social media of them at the hospital cafeteria, arms around shoulders for comfort. A mutual friend tagged me in comments. Doubt flooded back. I called Gabriel at midnight. Is there someone else? He was exhausted from hospital shifts. Mark is just a friend helping. You know that. But my tone was accusatory. He hung up hurt. Days of cold texts followed. I threw myself into work, avoiding calls. My mother noticed during a visit. You seem lost again. I confessed the fight. She surprised me with advice. If he makes you happy, don't let fear win. Her words, coming from the woman who once cried over photos, gave me courage. I booked a flight to California without telling Gabriel. Arrived at the hospital, found him in the waiting room, head in hands. When he saw me, relief washed over his face. We hugged for minutes. I'm sorry, I whispered. I trust you. His mother, weak but smiling, welcomed me. So this is the famous Dorian. We spent the weekend talking, laughing, planning. Gabriel's mother passed peacefully 2 weeks later. I flew back for the funeral, standing beside him as family. The loss bonded us deeper. Back in New York, we moved in together officially. The apartment felt like home. Work stabilized, partners adjusted. My parents visited for a weekend, meeting Gabriel over dinner. Awkward at first, but my father shook his hand. Treat him right. Small victories. Fall brought another challenge. The firm offered Gabriel a partner track in Chicago to be closer to my family. He considered it for me. I refused. Your life is here too. We chose New York, together. Ethan left the firm for a startup, our goodbye civil. Be happy, man. Closure. Winter holidays were our first as a real couple with my family. My mother cooked extra, my father told stories. Gabriel fit in, quietly charming. On Christmas morning, he proposed with a simple ring in front of the tree. Will you marry me? Tears in everyone's eyes. I said yes. But the final test loomed. My extended family reunion in spring. Cousins, aunts, uncles. Some accepted, some didn't. Whispers, awkward questions. Gabriel held my hand through it. One uncle pulled me aside. This isn't natural. I stood tall. It is for me. Gabriel's support gave me strength. Summer brought peace. We planned the wedding small, beach in California where his mother was buried. My parents agreed to come. The journey had changed us all. The wedding day dawned clear over the Pacific. Gabriel stood under the arch, handsome in his suit, eyes only for me. My parents sat in the front row, my mother dabbing tears, my father nodding approval. Ethan sent a congratulatory card, no RSVP. Friends from the firm, Gabriel's chosen family, filled the seats. Vows exchanged, simple and true. Promises to face every challenge together. No more hiding, no more fear. Reception on the sand, music soft, laughter easy. My sister danced with Gabriel, my father clapped when we cut the cake. For the first time, everything aligned. The journey from that first bar touch to this moment had been paved with misunderstandings that nearly broke us, betrayals that tested loyalty, secrets that forced confrontation, and sacrifices that taught what mattered. Months later, settled in our New York life, I looked at Gabriel across the breakfast table. Thank you for waiting. He smiled. Thank you for choosing us. Life continued with its ordinary magic. Work promotions, weekend hikes, family visits that grew warmer. My father even asked Gabriel for advice on investments. Acceptance wasn't perfect, but it was real. Yet reflection came often. The path of self-discovery wasn't linear. Love demanded courage. Friendships sometimes fractured under pressure. Family expectations could bend but rarely break without pain. Society's gaze still lingered in subtle ways, but we faced it together. One quiet evening on our balcony, watching the city lights, Gabriel asked, "Would you change anything?" I shook my head. Every tear, every fight, every step had led here. True or false? Ignoring warnings and losing everything is the only way to truly find yourself and the love you deserve.